It's a friend of mine. When we were growing up, you know, the kids back in the 50s, I mean, if you had some old clunker that was 10 or 15 years old and it had 4 tires on the street and it moved from one corner to the other, you were happy as all get out. Wasn't nothing like driving around these kids today with 280Zs and Corvettes and whatever have you. I mean, if it's if it ain't off the showroom floor, man, they don't want to hear nothing about it. Well, this car this boy had was an old 39 Ford. His father had bought it after the Second World War as a used car, and he drove it for 10 years. When the boy got his driver's license, father let him have that car to drive around. Well, it was a nice-looking car. Boy, it was shiny and black. He used to go out there every day and wipe it down. Every other Sunday, he'd be out there with a can of wax polishing it, out there with a whisk broom cleaning out the inside and vacuuming, always washing the windows. Nice-looking car. The only problem was, after all these years of use, it had a lot of mileage on it. And he was getting that bug, just like everybody does. He just wanted a new car. So he says, you know, he says, really like to have a new car. He says, but I really hate to let this go to junk. He says, I'd like to sell it to somebody. He says, but with all the mileage that's on the engine, he says, nobody's going to want to buy it. So one of the boys in the gang, he says, tell you what, why don't you just roll back the couple thousand miles off the speedometer, sell it for a low mileage car. Oh, Richie says, hey, that sounds like a pretty good idea now. Oh, Rich, he was a right nice looking boy, had some pretty good muscles, but his elevator didn't go all the way to the top floor. A couple weeks later, see old Rich, he's out there, he's still got this old 39 coupe. Man, he's out there polishing like all get out. Hey, Rich, thought you were going to get rid of that car. Man, are you kidding? He says, the way this car looks, he says, and the low mileage on it, he says, I'd be a fool to get rid of this car.